Hello, learners. Last video, we have learned the fundamentals of management concepts and evaluations in which Henry Foyle principles were disseminated. In this video, you are going to learn about other contributory of management concepts and the management theories, skills and roles of managers and functions of management. The first video itself, we have seen Henry Foyle 14 principles. The Henry Foyle is father of management. He contributed 14 principles which is also applicable the modern management principles. The second thoughts of management in the pre-scientific period, Frederick Wilson Taylor. The Frederick Wilson Taylor is identified as father of scientific management. He proved with his practical theories that a scientific method can be implemented to management. Taylor gave much concentration on supervisory level of management and performance of managers and workers at an operational level. He is sometimes called, well about, he introduced more scientific related tools apply in the management in the supervisory level. The Taylor contributed 4 principles in the scientific management. One is rule of thumb was replaced by work methods. Taylor believed that even a small activity like loading paper sheet into boxcars can be planned scientifically. This will save time and also human energy. This decision should be based on scientific analysis and causes and effect relationship rather than rule of thumb, where the decision is taken according to the managerial personal judgment. The second one, he emphasized the training and development to the employees of organization. The management and workers should acknowledge and understand each other's importance. Taylor also suggested the mental revolution for both management and employees to achieve total harmony. Especially the training and development provided to each employee rather than passively leaving them to train themselves. The third one is cooperate with the workers. So each employees of the organization, they have to integrate with the organizational activities to ensure or to attain the goals of organization. He emphasized that the managers and workers should have mutual cooperation and confidence and a sense of goodwill. The main purpose of substitute internal competition with the cooperation. The fourth one is divided. Next, the principles of scientific management. The principles which include here the Taylor's management concepts being reflected in the modern workplace in terms of time and motion study. Training and supervision, differentially awards and so on. The two things have classified. He emphasized four major principles, one on time and motion study, another one provide the scientific training to the employees, another one is a supervision we need the mutual relationship between management and employees, another one is a differential rewards according to the productivity. He combined, this slide is combined concepts given by the Taylor for scientific management, how it cope up with similar concept widely used in modern workplace. For example, if you take a time and motion study, the Taylor emphasized the best way to do a job. They have to consider the time and motion. If take this modern management workplace, the standard operating practices, desk instruction, prepare the manuals, lean simplifications, it was derived from the time and motion study which contributed by the Taylor. The second principle is the training. The Taylor carving out define the rules and train the employees. The modern management is given lot of training how to conduct the induction, onboarding, knowledge transfer. These things was derived from the Taylor scientific methods. The next one is the supervision. The Taylor emphasized that the supervision which include follow the prescribed methods. The modern managements also taken to account. He prepared the reports out, standing meeting, updates, metrics, KPI. So this practice derived from the supervision of principles of scientific management. The premium for higher performance given by the Taylor. So if we take the modern management, he found number of performance applications, performance measured tools. Based on the tools, the company is providing rewards. Next, advantages of scientific management. What are the advantages while adapting the scientific management which is given by the Taylor, who is father of scientific management? The scientific selection and training of employees leads to better workforce which ensures increased efficiency. So, if you recruit any employees, the company will arrange the scientific selection mode and scientific training after selection. The company must to provide scientific training. What type of the training needs to the employees to increase their efficiency so as to enhance the productivity. The second one is harmonious relationship between the workers and management. So through this management, he emphasized that the cooperation among the employees and they have to maintain the cordial relationship between management and the employees. The third advantage is opportunity for scientific training and development to increase skills, knowledge, competency. The skills, knowledge and competency is increasing in the company through providing the scientific training and development. the company productivity will reaching out as per destination of the company. The last one is the application of scientific methods and techniques in better working condition to reduce the fatigue. He found the work study and fatigue study. So how to reduce the fatigue? So the company must to provide the scientific way of methods and techniques. The last one is a higher wages to the workers will bring out higher productivity. The next personality is a Frank and Lillian Gilbert. He is one of the contributor of management. He's a very good thought thinkers. The refined Taylor's work made many improvements to the methodology of time and motion study. The time and motion study, again, it was reshaped by the Frank and Gilbert. He emphasized breaking up the each job action into its components, finding better ways to performance the action, reorganizing each job action to be more efficient. The Gilbert studied work-related problems caused by the lighting, heating, and designing of the machines. So he contributed a lot to the management in scientific way to redefine the time and motion studies. The contributors of the Franklin Gilbert, he emphasized motion study, time study, one best way and training of personnel. The three positions plan for promotion. His present position, the part of the work then would be teaching the men below him and learning from the men above him. The Gilbert is emphasized the time and motion study. Now we are going to see in detail in the next slide. The work study can classified into two. One method study, another one work measurement. That is called synonymously time study. Thus, work study is analytical investigation of the methods, conditions, and effectiveness of industrial work, and thereby disseminating of the ways in which human efforts be applied economically. Simply, the job and development to more economical method of doing work. The second one is a time study. The method of doing a job, including human movements involved in it. The time study are used to identify areas of inefficiency workflows, often in the context of good production, and to make efforts towards reducing those inefficiency. If you adapt the work study methods, the company can definitely expect higher productivity. The next personality of management is a Henry Laurence Gantt. His birthplace is Maryland in USA. He is also confident on scientific management side. He is known as in the Gantt chart. He is very close to Frederick Wilson Taylor, who contributed to the scientific management and its principle. The Gantt chart is a visual description of a project timelines. You have seen here planning, research, design, implement, follow up. This is the name of the task. If we take this year, every month of the year, what will be the progress of each task? So this chart shows the start and end date of a project components, such as resources of planning. If you are involved in any project as a manager, it is recommended to use Gantt chart to help organize the various tasks within the projects. So the Gantt chart is very useful to the completion of any projects. You can easily complete within the stipulated period. The next is a human relation period, which is 1920 to 1950. Before that, we have seen pre-scientific period, scientific period. After that, some contributors look at the management. So the human involvement, the human relation is necessary or essential to make more productivity. So the human relation movement emphasizes this importance of human element in job design. What are they included in the human relations? That periods emphasize rather than machine and methods, the management must give or motivate the employees or maintain the cordial relationship among the employees. To inculcate the human relation, the company can easily achieve its objectives and targets. So some of the management personalities contributed a lot in the human relation management. Is the Lillian Gilbert, Eldon Moyo, Abraham Maslow, Frederick Herzberg, Douglas McGregor, William Watch. So many people have in the list. I have shown only a few familiar personality contributed the management, though stressed on human relation movement in the management. The first one is George Eldon Moyo. He is a father of human relation management. He is in charge of human behavior experiment. Is a very familiar experiment of how Hawthorne works. Before that, you have to know the human relations. The Eldon Moyo conducted a research activities in Hawthorne electric plant in 1924. The research effect of physical condition on productivity called as Hawthorne studies or Hawthorne experiment. Through the study, he emphasized that the Eldon Moyo conducted a familiar research of Hawthorne experiment between 1924 to 1930. He in the research tested the effects of lighting, heating, job break, physical arrangements on productivity. The Hawthorne effect is the idea that behavior during the process of an experiment can be altered by a subject awareness of participating in experiment. The experiment lasted up to 1932. The Hawthorne experiment brought out that the productivity of employees is not the function of only physical condition of work and money wages paid them. The initially Hawthorne effect took place in Hawthorne Plain. It simply says that the studies were composed of many long, is more than 4 years it was taken by complete the study. The investigation into importance of work behavior, attitudes of the employee, and of a variety of physical, economic, and social variables. The Hawthorne experiment, it takes many tools, the better lighting, more regular breaks during the work hours, whether which reflects in the improved productivity or not. However, when workers see that people show concern of them, the productivity is rising up. The four ways main study: one, illumination study; two, relay assembly test room study; interviewing program; bank wiring room observation study. This study is majorly classified the more areas in the different years. In November 2024, he conducted the illumination study. So, in the illumination study, he tested the effect of lighting intensity on worker productivity, influence of human relation on work behavior. We will see later in detailed manner of each and every categories of the study. The relay assembly test room was conducted between 1924 to 1932. This study determined the effect of changes in various job conditions on group activity. The third study is interviewing program, which was conducted 1928 to 1930. This study investigated connection between supervisory practice and employees' morale. What about these likes and dislikes of employees is the output of the study. The bank wiring room observation study was conducted in between 1931 to 1932. So it influenced these social groups, integration of social groups, by which the productivity of the organization will increase. The next illumination experiments. You have seen the picture. The experimental group, one side, another one is a controlled group. The controlled group, which reflects illumination, remain constant. Productivity remain constant. But if we go for the experimental group, changes made in illumination, higher illumination, lower illumination, that is an increase in decrease. The moonlight increase or decrease. The productivity is remain same like control group. So the result of the illumination experiment, there is no relation between higher illumination and lower illumination will not affect the productivity. The study. During the study, the employee productivity increased both when the light was increased when it was decreased. However, the productivity decreased when the study ended. Next, relay assembly room study. Regardless of the condition, whether there were more or fewer rest periods, longer or shorter working days, the woman worked harder and more efficiently. The relay assembly test room experiment were designed to determine the effect of changes in various job conditions on group productivity. You have seen the various pictures to prove that whether they need the break time during the walk. The productivity decreased the following changes. Frequent rest interval has been given. The relationship between the supervisor and the workers become close friends. The productivity increased not because of positive change of physical factors. So here is emphasized the attitudes towards work and their work group is a result of the relay assembly room. Next is a mass interview program. During the course of interview, he conducted the research. During the course of interview, it was discovered that the workers' behavior was being influenced by the group behavior. However, in this conclusion was not satisfactory, and therefore the researchers decided to conduct another series of experiments. As such, the detailed study of a shop situation was started to find out the behavior of workers in small group. They study this human behavior in the company. The result of the mass interview program determine employees' attitudes towards company supervision, insurance plan, promotion, wages. The fourth one, bank wiring observation room experiment. Here is a take the 14 male workers. The men were engaged in the assembly of terminal banks for the use in telephone exchange. The more productive group gets bonus. The Hawthorne experiments has clearly showed that a man at work is motivated by more than the satisfaction of economic needs. Management should recognize that people are essentially social beings and not to merely economic beings. As a social being, they are members of the group. The management should try to understand group attitudes and group psychology. The conclusion of the Hawthorne experiment here. First test is an illumination experiment. Productivity has no relation with illumination. The relay assembly test room expenditure brings that attitude brings fluctuation in productivity. The third one is mass interview programs which determine employees' attitudes towards the company, whether the productivity are increase or decrease. The bank wiring observation rooms worked for as a social group. The next period is modern management period. It starts from 1950. So one familiar management personality is Douglas McGregor. He contributed to the management in by providing theory X, theory Y. The modern management theory X and Y explain the motivation concepts to the management. Theory X and theory Y are human work motivation and management. Theory X is an authoritative approach to motivating employees where the manager has a pessimistic opinion about their team members. Managers believe employees are not motivated because they dislike the work. It assumed that whatever the management provide, the people will dislike their work, they will be lazy, dislike the responsibility, and it have to be rectified. He may feel them is quiesced to perform. The theory Y is participative approach. to enhance employee motivation, where the manager has an optimist view of their team members. Managers assume that the employee demotivation can be solved through a decentralization method in which collaboration, trust, and team relation are enhanced. The theory Y just opposite to the X. It assumes simply in nutshell, in assume that employees like the work, whatever the work assigned to the management, and he will apply his creativity, and they will seek responsibility to complete the work. They can exercise themselves is to take the work as self-direction. Here you have seen theory X, theory Y. What will happen? The theory X, people need close supervision. They like the close supervision. The immediate boss have to close his work. Uh, they will avoid work when possible. Is not concentrating on supervision level. He will escape from their work. They will avoid to take any responsibility. They desire only the compensation given by the companies. So this type of the people have to push them to perform the work. But if we take the theory Y, the voluntary, they will take the responsibility. So they like to work independently. The people will be motivated by self-fulfillment. So then the people naturally to do the work without any supervision. The people will drive themselves to work. The next person of the management contributory in the modern management era, he is a Peter Drucker. So he creator of MBO, which is very familiar concept, is a management by objectives. He believes in establishing measurements of performance. What about this origin of MBO concept? MBO was first outlined by the Peter Drucker in 1954. In his book, is clearly disseminated the practice of management. His concept was followed by the General Motors, General Electrics, General Foods, etc. What about this MBO? The MBO is a strategic approach to enhance the performance of an organization. It is a process where the goals of the organization are defined and conveyed by the management to the members of the organization with the intention to achieve each objective. This is a process. So the Drucker defined the goals of the organization, goals of the departments, goals of the individual, by which how the company can reach the goals they want to make the operating planning. This is a model of the management process. The three major steps to complete the process: one, setting goals; second, developing action plans; third one, reviewing progress; fourth one, appraising overall performance. Goals are the most important and fundamental elements of the MBO management process. They are set for all the contributors of the organization. Objectives also help to evaluate performance of contributors. The goals is being set in the area of corporate strategic goals, departmental goals, individual goals. The combination of the each goals. The individual is define his goals based on the department goals. Each department depend upon their goals to reach the corporate strategic goals. After setting the goals, it will enter into the action plan. So developing action plan. The action plan which includes to how we can reach the goals, for which they will prepare some decision making, they will prepare some plans. So it is now the third step to reviewing progress, which include review progress and corrective action which reflect the action plan. The last one is appraise of overall performance. The overall performance which include the performance review help manager to evaluate the weakness and strength of their employees, so they can open channel of communication to appreciate the performance or fix the errors, which reflect whether the MBO reach to the company setting goals or not, depend upon the implementation of MBO. Next, what about these advantages and disadvantages of MBO? The MBO overall, the MBO programs give lot of merits or applications to the management in terms of employees' commitment and achieve organization goals. The disadvantages which include is it takes too much time, and to setting these goals is very difficult one. The next thing is weakness. Many weakness in the MBO, though the weakness will not reflect the proper designing of the MBO process. The next topic is management approaches. It has four approaches: one classical, human relation, system, and contingency. Ever since the four approaches in the modern management will take into account to shaping their organization. Next, you are going to see whether the management is an art or science. So, what is the meaning of it? Has the universal accepted principles that science means. The science, it is a universal accepted principle. It has causes and effect relationship, etc. And at the same time, it is an art. It is an art because it requires perfection through practice, practical knowledge, creativity, personal skills, etc. So finally, it comes to thus management is both art and science. So the art which include the main elements of the art: personal skills, practical know-how, application knowledge, result-oriented, creativity mind, constant practice aimed at performance. These are things emphasize that the management is an art. But if we take this science, with many elements in it, systematic body of knowledge and effective training. If you utilize the scientific way, scientific tools, part CPM, cost accounting, another one based on the knowledge that is giving scientific training and development. So it's also the depend upon the increasing the productivity of a management. So it is also called the management as a science. So finally, the management is both science and arts. The next thing is, what are the difference between management and administration? Synonymously, we can use the word management is interchangeably management and administration. In the management side, we can slightly differ from this administration. For example, it's nature. The administration is emphasized that only the top level, management is a middle and lower level. So the nature of this administration is a determined or thinking function. If top level managers, top level CEO and others will thinking and determinity of the goals. But who will the execute? Only the management is middle and lower level people will execute whatever carved out by the top level management. Type of work. So the administrators will make any decisions. They will set this policies. They will prepare the policy. They will set the objectives. But the management implementation of the policies, what the policies made by the administrators, the management will implement it. The next one is the levels. Authority is the top level, management is middle and lower level. So the influence, so all sources which include our internal and external sources will influence before taking any decision by the administration. But if you take management, objectives and policy of the concern and the business will only influence the management. The direction of human efforts, the human was not directly concerned with the administration, but if you take whereas management actively concerns. The main function of administration is the planning and control, is the twins of management. The management is main function is directing and organizing. What are the skills are required in the administration? The conceptual and human skills is very much essential in the administration side. But in the human management side, the technical and human skills is essential to implement the policies and plan made by the administrators. Next, the usage of the word. The government public sectors will often use the administrators. The business concern will use only the management. Next to one of the management is the levels of management. And simply, the levels of management can classify three categories. One, upper management, middle management, lower management. The long-term goals and products, market, business organization, jobs like this CEO, CFO, COO, CTO, VP, marketing have been placed at the top level management. In middle management will connect lower level management and upper level management. Interpret plans, set action, job like regional and plant managers. The last lower management, they will execute or implement the plans according to the support of the middle management. Here you have seen clearly the different levels of management. Here is the top level, in between this middle level who will occupy the position. So is all the above, the CEO, CFO, another senior managers level, middle managers levels, first line manager, supervisor level, all the above. So the levels of management can create based on the company size. The next one is very important one. What about these managerial skills? The managerial skills can classify into three. Management skills can be defined certain attributes or abilities that an executive should possess in order to fulfill specific tasks in an organization. The first thing is conceptual skill, technical skill, human skill. The skills can sit according to the levels of management, which includes that conceptual skills are required most in the top level management who will take any decisions in the management, whether it is expansion of the company or take any decision or making any policy in link with vision and mission of the organization. Next, the technical skill. These skills not only involve operating machines and software, production tool and pieces of the equipment, but also skills needed to boost sales, design different types of products and services, and marketing the services and the products. Then third skill is human skill. The human skill is common to all levels of the management. These skills enable managers to make use human potential in the company and motivate the employees for better results. If you keenly see that picture, the top level management has occupied 60% of the conceptual skills. They need 20% of the technical skills. They need 20% of the human skill. In the middle management, conceptual, technical, human skills according to the percentage. The supervisor level or lower level, they need more technical skills rather than conceptual skills, but the human skills is common to both levels, top levels or middle levels and supervisory levels. Next is the roles of managers. Every manager has some roles. The roles can classify into three: interpersonal roles, informational roles, decisional roles. The interpersonal roles, which include figurehead, leader, liaison. The informational roles, which include monitor, disseminator, spokesperson. Decisional roles, which include entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator. So here some description in the interpersonal roles. The role of figurehead is a symbolic head. He has to perform a number of routine duties of a legal or social nature in the company, like conduct the ceremonies, status records, etc. Next role of he act as a leader. The manager is responsible for motivation and direction of the subordinates to reach their organization objectives. For example, is virtually all manager activities involving subordinates. Liaison, which include maintains a network outside and the contacts who provide service or information. He connect the companies and the outside. The next information roles here act as monitor, disseminator, spokesperson. You have seen the monitor this companies and handling mails and routine affairs, routine works. So if he see any achievement, he have to disseminate to the outsiders and subordinators. He is like act as a spokesperson. Is informed the outsiders. What about this policy? What about the company actions, company results? Then next one, decisional roles. So what type of the decision you have to take? The different roles is more than 4 roles: entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, negotiator. The entrepreneur is such the organization and its environment for opportunities is seeking opportunities to exploit it. Disturbance handlers, so if you have any hurdles to the company, they have to take a correct action. The resource allocator, the company having many resources, how the resources are allocated to the departments, allocated to the companies to reach the higher productivity. Is the negotiator, so the manager is responsible for representing the organization major negotiations. Thank you very much.